Good Saturday morning to everyone. I was double checking information as we got ready to go live there. Let me see if I got an answer to some of the things that have occurred over the last 24 hours. And it has been a busy one for our area, has it not? We wake up this morning, as if you have not read our page from last night, we have had another murder in the city of Meridian. And I am unsure on this, and I've got to check this out. I asked this morning, I won't be able to get a complete answer on this until Monday morning. I cannot remember if this is number 10 or if this is the 11th murder for the year. I will have to follow up with the Meridian Police Department on Monday to double check to get the exact number. I'm close. As we pull up this, as we look at what has gone on in the city of Meridian overnight, we do know for sure that a male suspect has been murdered. As we pull this up to show this, gunshots broke out last night at 22nd Avenue and 22nd Street in Meridian. He was killed at the scene. From my understanding, he was in a car. Now, assumption, and this is where assumption comes in without 100% knowledge on this. I've asked, and we will find out more Monday, I would assume, from the Meridian Police Department. I'm assuming this was a drive-by. I don't know that 100% for sure. It could have been that someone shot him in the car. We've seen that happen. Assumption there. We don't have all the details on this as all of this comes out. We do know that the male died. I do not have an age. We do not know much more than that. As we go to the map to take a look at where this happened, so you'll know these areas and where things are going on in Meridian. This is where we've got. As we'll look here, let's back this out where you can see what's going on. This is Anderson's Hospital. This will be due north behind there. If you were to go up, let's take a look at this. If you were to come and go toward Poplar Springs Drive, this Point Rexall sitting right here on this corner, this is the gas station. If you were to take a right and go back east, you would go over a couple of blocks, and this is where the accident happened, or the murder is the best way to put that this morning as we look at this. Murder in Meridian. It's getting to be a common thing, is it not? We still have a very small town, and horrifying with these things that happen. Now, also got, as we switch gears and look at other crimes that have gone on in the area, that being the absolute worst that we had in the last 24 hours, we did have a stabbing in Meridian. They were not life-threatening, but I also thought we would show where this happened also. This would be in North Meridian as well, north of Highland Park. Is the area this happened. Someone was stabbed. Again, it was not life-threatening as we pull this up. This would be in the Druid Hills area, Druid Lane off of State Boulevard. This is Royal Road, where we see a lot of crime activity happen. It's no secret on that, north of Highland Park. And this would be just west of State Boulevard, back in this area right in here. Someone was stabbed. Again, not life-threatening. I don't want to blow something out of proportion bigger than it is. But I don't care how big it was. If you were the one that got cut, you would probably think that it was pretty bad, wouldn't we? I think so. That is one of the leading stories we've got this morning. And a pretty serious car wreck last night in the same area that the shooting happened. As we go back here to the map, let's pull this back up. We had someone strike a light pole right here. This is Poplar Springs Drive. This would be the 2300 block right here at Express Lane. A light pole would be knocked down, a car would strike it, and the person would be thrown from the car. They were rushed to the hospital. We don't know much more than that at this time, other than there was an accident last night and this did happen. We do hope they're okay, but it's not far from where the shooting happened. As we pull this up, back down in here is where the shooting happened, and this is where that wreck happened here. So within a mile or so, but hours apart. It was not like this triggered that, so I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to connect the two dots. It was just a wreck that happened a little bit later, and someone would be hurt. We hate to see that. One of the breaking news stories that we got, and on the humorous side, is we always have to have a little bit of humor in Meridian with everything that goes on. We've all known of Naked Man. He's been roaming our streets for quite some time. And as a matter of fact, it was about Tuesday And I wouldn't find out until late Thursday afternoon that he was spotted once again, North Hills area there, about Tuesday morning at 6:30, making his rounds down by Firestone in that direction. Now, last night marks the first. I got about 3 reports of this. This is really, you just don't hear of it. You have to smile with everything that goes on as we go to our next report to show you that now we have a naked woman in Meridian. As we pull this up, she was spotted last night in the 3400 block of North Hill Street, making her way. A lot of folks saw her. That's all I know at this point. To my knowledge, she was not arrested. And wherever she went, she just went out for a stroll and went back home. So, did you see her? This would have been after 10 o'clock last night. Somewhere between 10 and midnight, I think, is when the time was spotted on this. Be on the lookout. We never know when she might appear again. Again, we all have to have our stories that are a little bit lighter, not as hard, and that is one of those that happened in our area there. So keep that in mind as you're out and about. They just seem, for whatever reason, the naked people in our area love North Hill Street. Seems to be the place for it. I'll leave it at that. As we look around, again, back to the murder in Meridian, there is no suspect at this point. They're investigating it, but they have not released a name or a suspect of anyone that they suspect. I said suspect, didn't I? Got a little tongue twisted there. As we turn to Kemper County, as we all know, there was a tragic accident that occurred in Kemper County as we all woke up early Friday morning. We still pass along condolences to all of those involved. A murder-suicide happened. 2 men lost their lives in Kemper County, Mississippi, well-known residents of the area. We can just not pass along enough condolences on this. Randy Thornton and also Jack Bobo lost their lives. The Kemper County Sheriff's Department continues to investigate this. And again, it's just tragedy. There's nothing good of that that we know. Our hearts go out to all those involved and all the friends and family of everyone that knows them. So again, we do express our condolences to the family on that. As we look at this, now, I got an itch a while ago and I thought, oh heavens. Why? Because this is starting to be just news everywhere as we pull this up. Monkeypox. Alabama has 19 confirmed cases. The 7th case was confirmed in Hattiesburg, Mississippi in the state. 69 in Louisiana. Look at Texas, 559. Off to our east, Georgia, clocking in at 577. Now, both of these states have a lot more population than the state of Mississippi, but it is growing. I think it's a little over 6,600 cases nationwide at this point. They are trying to call this a epidemic. Just be cautious. I don't know enough about this, of what you do to protect yourselves. We know how it starts, but anybody can get this. Just be on the lookout. COVID is running rampant once again. We see that everywhere. That's a big thing. I had a friend call me last night, said that he's got it. Have mercy. Y'all be careful there. Let me see if I got any updates here. Nothing new there. Peggy Robinson, how are you doing? Sandra Bunyard is up. Sydney Covington, good to see you. Sleeping in her PJs. Sydney has cleared herself. Bonnie Rowe, how are you doing? She says it wasn't her because she can't run anymore. I'm with you, girl. I just can't do that. It would have to be something serious get after me for me to make it. Chris Reed, he is out searching the community there. Are you on this case, Chris? Are you trying to, I almost said, no, I'm not even going to say that because it'd be taken wrong. We'll put you on North Hill Street. Camera and all, let him investigate. Now, Meridian Woods did see a lot of incidents yesterday afternoon as we looked around. We had another wreck, North Hill Street. This is, you have to be careful when leaving. There's just no doubt about it. It seems to be, happens a lot. This was a wreck near Popeyes as we zoom in on this right here. Fender bender there, but looks as though that's a Dodge Challenger that got it along with a minivan. No one was seriously hurt. It was just a fender bender, but still, you have to watch coming out after getting that chicken, get all caught up in it, and whew. We also saw late yesterday afternoon, it was 3:30 or so that we had a wreck on Highway 19, a single car wreck. As we pull this up, this is what we saw yesterday. As you can tell, caught on fire there for a minute there, the hood there. This could have been a lot worse. I think they're okay, but one car, traffic backed up as we get to see these pictures across some hoods there of what was going on Highway 19. We also hope everybody was okay on that last report, nothing serious from it. That's the good news on that. Now, as we look around our area, there's always something going on in Clark County. Boy, y'all do have a lot of activity in Clark County. We go to Clark County Hot Topics for our next subject of what went on yesterday. And, well, DUI. Someone visiting from another state ran off the road, and I think they were going to try to get away. And, well, here they come. As we mentioned the other day, the word popo. As we pull this up, they arrived on the scene, and, yes, someone was taken to jail. Now, I've only been given one of these once. And that's a breathalyzer test, what you see there in that hand there. I went through a roadblock some years ago. I had been over at the Silver Star. Me and Debbie had emceed an event. I can't remember who it was that we brought out on stage, but I was checked at a roadblock. No chance of me getting one of those. It just, I don't do that. But didn't happen that way in Clark County. Someone went to jail. Just can't be doing all that. Also, update on this. I'd mentioned this, and we go back to Clark County Hot Topics to address this. Do y'all remember the mobile home that lost the tire? Blocked traffic for hours. It was horrendous, and then it sat on the side of the road for a couple days. Well, it turns out that the folks that were moving the trailer just really did not have all the proper equipment that they were supposed to, like, oh, well, let me see, a driver's license and a permit, things of that nature. As we go back to Clark County to check in with Clark County Hot Topics, state troopers made an arrest. They'd done that. They were pulling it on down the highway there without getting all the proper paperwork they were supposed to. Officials arrested Johnny Mixon, 53, in the jailhouse now. They'll investigate more and more on this as this comes about. I do think it's pulled off the roadway, though. I think Clark County officials gave them every chance they could to straighten out the mess that had gone on with that. Got to have all the proper permits to pull anything big on the state highways in Mississippi. Any company that moves equipment has to have those. Pretty simple. You just send to the state, and they give you a little permit there. It's not very expensive, but you got to follow all of those rules, and that happened there. Don't forget tonight, Why Not Mississippi, as it goes back on the map, a small community, but when the races start, well, everybody shows up to Why Not, and that's where it will be tonight as we look for another big race tonight. Gets underway as you'll see this, the August 6th last point race for 2022. The late models, $1,000 win. All that's going to be taking place tonight. As you'll see this, you can get in. General admission for adults, $15, ages 6 to 12, $5. Drop in to see Rodney and all the game. Great place, great family entertainment. If you're looking for something to do tonight, go out. It's fun. See the dirt and all that goes on. As we start looking around here outside of the Meridian area of what goes on in the state of Mississippi, we had 4 convicts, and I'll go ahead and use the word convict, and some say inmates, however you want to word that, escaped from Alcorn County. How'd they do it? They cut a hole in the roof and escaped. Now, I would think, just thinking out loud, that would be kind of noisy, would it not? How do you cut through a roof in a jail with no one noticing you? I don't have the answers for that, but they have been captured again. Back in jail they go. So that is good. That was a little scare there. You never know. They were arrested in Baton Rouge yesterday afternoon. They were stepping and fetching, weren't they? They're back there in the jailhouse now. But again, how do you cut a roof with no one noticing it? Things go on that we just can't explain. Madison, Mississippi, we all know where that is. An emergency landing happened there on Thursday. An airplane had engine trouble, landed right in the middle of the street. Everybody was okay. That's good to know. But boy, can you imagine being in the plane that had to do that? Didn't miss a beat. Nothing was disturbed, hurt. They fixed it, and I guess he took right back off from the state there. We've had an arrest in Harrison County. Why? A 15-year-old showed up to school with a pistol. They don't take kindly to that, and he's been arrested, and they'll find out more as to why that happened. I also mentioned in the headlines here, Mississippi, be ready for this. Maybe it's been kind of laxed where you kind of drive the way you want. Mississippi Highway Patrol not out enough. They've hired 29 new troopers that are going to be hitting the highways and byways of Mississippi. Most of them already have training, and they've got cars, and they will be writing tickets, just to let you know what's out there. Over the state, I don't go into details on this, but over the course of the state, we've had 4 more people arrested for child sex crimes. I don't even like to read those headlines, but they do happen. That's in Mississippi. As we look at Florida, does anybody that's watching actually like a snake? I've only known one person in my life that kept one as a pet. I just can't stand them. There's no other way to word it. Most of us do the snake dance when we run up on one. Florida, they've kicked off their python hunt. 800 people have applied. Now, between August the 15th, they go into the Everglades and they look for pythons to remove them. They're dangerous. Don't like no snake. But if you're into that, go on down to Florida. 800 people there. Tommy Long, how are you doing down in Stonewall, Mississippi? It disturbs me when I read this, and this is on a national level. A preacher is someone who's you above everything. That's you're looked upon to be a leader, as would a president or anybody holding a higher office. We look to Miami, and a pastor has been relieved of duty after he's been found out 3 affairs within the church, 3 different women. He also got matching tattoos to match everybody he was having a fling with. Oh, and the church paid for all the hotel rooms that they were going to. Isn't it sad that we have to report something like that? How could things like that be going on in America? Oh, I know. Lack of family. People wanting to rewrite things, don't want to accept the way they are. We see it every day, and it leads to things like this. Expect worse to come. Wish I could tell you it's going to be great, but it's not. Indiana becomes one of the first states to approve a near-total abortion ban. One of the few states that's done that. As we look around on this, and I don't watch CNN or have not watched CNN in probably 10 years. Their agenda went way different from my way of thinking. I just couldn't listen to it anymore. But one of their former employees, an anchor called Felicia Taylor, has been arrested. Why? A hit and run. She ran over somebody and just backed on up after she hit the car and drove off. She's been arrested now. What makes people want to do that? Your tag number. I guess you have something on you. I guess I can answer that. Something is on your person that you don't want to be caught with, and that the threat of being charged with fleeing is a lot better than whatever you have. That's an assumption. An assumption. As Terry Ray says, that's no job for her, that snake hunting. Woo! As Richard Parker says, we need new leadership in Meridian, or things will never change. I think a lot of people agree with you, Richard. We can all kind of gather here each day to talk about these things. This is bad. 2 bads, and it doesn't make a right. Actress Anne Heche. And if I'm correct, y'all probably know this more than me. I'm not a huge Ellen watcher. I think her show just ended. But wasn't this her wife or something, Anne Heche? She was in a serious car wreck yesterday. She was drinking and driving, wrecked into a home. It burst into flames. I think it ended up taking 30 minutes to get her out of the car. One of the first on the scene that said that he expected, after the wreck happened, to find her deceased on it. She is alive. She's in the hospital. It's not good. And if you've been keeping up with this, Alex Jones, $50 million total, the first one. And I didn't realize, I just lost track of it yesterday and all that was going on. I thought that first trial was it, where he had to pay $4 million. We had another one that got $46 million added to it, and the total's at $50 million. Now, you got to remember, back in 18, he was making, $800,000 a day? This will bankrupt him for sure, without a doubt. But he releases that he says the trial was coordinated and run by billionaire George Soros, and accuses the judge of being corrupt. Says they were all after him. Not a lot of people listening to Alec at this point. Alex, let me repeat that, of what his thoughts are at this point. That's the headlines from across America, the big ones that are making headlines this morning. Whew. Sydney says he deserved it. He did. He made up a lot of narratives that weren't true. And if you listened over to it, you could get caught up in it pretty easy. He'd bring up pictures, and they would look. But the problem was, I think, with all that, they were doctored, weren't they? He would say, well, these people were in each one of these shootings. They're actors and had a huge following. Will he be able to pull this out and pull off another narrative and get people to follow him on this and make them think that this is all made up? I don't know. But you have to put your place, and just seriously, for a moment, put yourself in the place of a parent who lost a child at a school. You know that they were killed, and then you have a man on nationwide going, it didn't happen, it's all fake, and you lost your child. You'd be upset, and it was distraught. And that's why the judge awarded so much on this. It'll be split up between all the families. Now, I truly don't know if this man's got that kind of cash, if his assets will be torn apart and they'll actually ever get their money, how much insurance money there is. That's a huge amount, and it sends a message to those that make up these stories that have no way to back up. Don't do it. It's interesting, isn't it? You should be held accountable when you make up things out of thin air just for profit. And that's what that was. We all know that. Now, don't rush off. We'll go over the weather next and find out what today is going to happen. That's just as important, isn't it? We got all that on the way here with the Scotty Ray Report. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings this week. Fresh peaches, $1.99 a pound. Fresh corn, 3-pack, $1.79. Plums, $2.99 each. Coca-Cola products, a 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $11. Assorted pork chops, $1.79 a pound. And certified Angus beef ribeye steaks, family pack, $12.99 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install, or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Welcome back. And if you're joining late, as we've gone over the headlines last night, Meridian did see another murder last night. We're looking at 10 or 11. I'll have to double check on Monday with the Meridian Police Department to verify my numbers to see where we are. Jackson probably hitting near 90, but Meridian 10 to 11. And if this bothers you, and I'm going to hit this button, I don't know how well it's going to show, but I'm going to be adding this to where we start keeping up with things. If this bothers you, you need to, each area of how this works, if you live in the city limits of Meridian, you live on the outside, they still ought to be contacted, of your councilman. If it bothers you where crime happens, get in touch with them. Let me hit this button and see if you can see this map that I have brought in. Let me look over here. It's in the background there. You see that right there? I've got this broke up into wards, and we'll start putting on here where the crimes happened, where we can look at it, who to notify. Now, we'll give you their email address. I'll get this put together next week. We'll put on there who to contact, who to email. If you're tired of it in your ward, we need to contact our city officials and also the mayor each time something happens. You have to be heard or nothing happens. The squeaky wheel, is that how it is? What's that old saying? The squeaky wheel gets the grease or something. I can't remember. I'll get it all mixed up if I keep talking on that. But you have to say something. And if they don't know that Meridian is tired of this, nothing will ever be done. You have to speak up. Let your voice be heard. I want to make sure that I say that correctly. I don't want anybody to take out of context what I'm meaning by all this. But we need to be heard, and we need to let officials know we don't like it when something happens. We'll pass that along and be safe on that. Let's look at radar. And that noise you're hearing in the background is let me close that so it won't do that anymore where you won't hear it. That's gone. All right, let's pull up radar. Take a look here. This is straight from Meridian Honda radars. We show that, well, the Meridian area looks great. We don't have any heat wave coming. 99 is what we're expecting on the heat index side. We have to go back over here to Oklahoma, a little bit of Fort Smith and these areas up here in Missouri getting some heat waves today. We do show showers to the south. Now, we don't have to worry about this until late in the afternoon. Biloxi, Highway 90, these areas here getting some showers. Pearl River, Picayune, those areas, showers as well over by Gulf Shores. Let's zoom in on this a little bit closer here as we get into the Moss Point area getting showers this morning. If you're traveling there, be careful. Streets are wet this morning as we go back over toward Mobile, this little stretch across here. Pascagoula getting a little bit as well. Dauphin Island flooding right now. So that's a look at the beach at this point. Now let's get deeper into the forecast now so you'll know what to expect when the rain and all this stuff's going to arrive today. Let's get into it.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As I said, showers today. Our high in Meridian will reach 94. That's going to be the same thing as we go up through Philadelphia and on up to Columbus. A little warmer, 95 to the south. Laurel, Hattiesburg area about 92 because there's going to be more rain to the south of Meridian as we look at this. Natchez, and we see that developing on the coast now. 93 over in Jackson. And again, for the most of the area, we're going to see about 99 for the high on the heat index side. So not horrible. Let's look at Alabama as we see that Tuscaloosa hits 95. Demopolis, our friends there, 94 as well as over at Livingston. As we look at that heat index for the rest of the state, it's going to be Jackson and up here in the Mississippi Delta that's going to hit over 105 as we look at this. That'll be from 10 until 7 each day, today and tomorrow. So be careful if you're in those areas. As we look at what's coming, we got this little bit of a break here from that heat. As you'll see, we've got it moving back again from Texas, headed our way for next week. But today and tomorrow, not so bad in east central Mississippi and west Alabama. As we look to our forecast today, here we go as we dig deeper into this. And again, expect this shower to hit after 3 o'clock today, somewhere in that neighborhood. Heat index 99, as I've said a couple of times. Tonight, we'll get down to 73. Tomorrow rolls in with 93 for the high, but we're going to get wet. And again, we'll be blessed where we can go to church. And it'll be after 3 o'clock again before that happens. But the heat index climbs a little bit higher tomorrow, about 102 in the afternoon. Whew, warm there. As we go into tomorrow night, a 30% chance of showers. Back to work on Monday with a 50% chance of rain. And look at this, it just gets worse. 60% Tuesday and Wednesday, and by Thursday, we're back up to 70% chance of thunderstorms. We'll watch these cases closely to make sure that they're not going to be severe for you as they approach. Now, this is what we've got through the 20th of the month. We're still going to hold steady between 89 and 90 in between now and then. No out-of-pocket weird things that are going to happen with the temperatures being 105 or better. None of that. But we'll have some high heat index sides. But still rain chances in the forecast every day between now and the 20th. We look for a break on that. But thank heavens it's nothing bad. Now, this is the first mention. We've got roughly, as we go to the tropics this morning, forecasters tell us that somewhere between 14 to 20 storms will develop between now and November the 1st as hurricane season ends. Now, we start seeing our first mention of what's going on. As we head to the Atlantic, we see our very first right here. It's a 20% chance that something could happen with this. That's later in the week. Nothing yet. We'll watch this. We'll let you know if anything becomes of it. 20% chance. It's something to keep an eye on, though, if you're planning a vacation. That's toward the end of the week, so give it a week and a half on that. As we look at our best fishing times today, we pulled that back up. Chet's Paint and Body tells us, well, this afternoon will be a good time to get out, about 4 o'clock. You want to go out and have some good fishing there. Again, another round at 8:30 tonight on the fishing side. Something to think on if you're going to be out fishing. There you go. Let's see here. Let's see, Tony was passing a Dollar General, a different color sign there. Winnie says that Alex says he only has $5 million to give. They'll take something, won't they? Those are headlines across America this morning. We thank y'all for joining us and be a part of this each and every day. As always, send us your thoughts. Oh, there is one last thing that I wanted to mention. This has been found in the Bailey area, Center Hill area is what I'm being told here. I'll get more details on it. But we got a puppy dog that's been found. It's been here at a home since Thursday. Here we go. Anyone know this dog? I'll post a picture of him here in a moment and get this up. But if you happen to know whose pup this is, he's scared, staying at someone's house. Friendly, from what I understand. So we hope his owners claim him and get him home. That's going to wrap it up for us this morning. We want y'all to be careful throughout the day. As always, we'll be back with more information. Should something come up, we'll let you know. All happens here at the Scotty Ray Report. Again, thank y'all so much and appreciate you being a part of making this so successful. Thank y'all.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: